Right, do you see that Golduck down there in the corner? That Golduck is about to wreck this person's life. Let me tell you, Golduck for 3 energy does that Entangled dive attack, which discards both active Pokemon. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, that sounds a little bit costly. So stage 1, 3 energy, how can you keep doing that? What's the point even? Well, the idea is if we can just discard all our opponent's Pokemon, we're gonna win the game. That's the idea. So, your next question is, how do we recycle this? Like you've just said, it's a stage 1 Pokemon, but it needs 3 energy to attack. How are we going to do that? Well, that's where we're going to employ the help of Vaporeon VMAX. Let me get that up for you. Vaporeon VMAX is a VMAX Pokemon, 320 HP, and it's got the really good attack, which is good with Golduck, Bubble Pod. For 1 energy, you can grab any water type out of your discard pile and attach 3 water energies to that Pokemon. Can you see where we're going with this? So we're going to be using Bubble Pod to pluck Golduck straight out of the discard pile, attach 3 energies to it, and then we're just going to retreat, Entangled dive, promote up Vaporeon, tank a hit, go back into our Golduck. That is the idea. Now, we do have a few things we have to sort of maneuver in this sort of a deck. First of all, getting set up can be a bit costly and a bit hard sometimes. That's why we play the Cinccino, which you see down there with its Make Do ability, which lets you discard 1 card from your hand, then draw 2. You can also see the Radiant Greninja there, which lets you discard an energy card, as you can see now, from your hand and then draw 2. This actually serves 2 functions, because not only do we have to get the Golduck in the discard pile, right, we also have to get 3 energies in the discard pile as well, and that can be hard sometimes, so Greninja just helps out with that. I don't know if you saw as well, we also do play a thin line of the Altaria with that humming tune ability, which lets you get a supporter from your deck, put it to the top of your deck, meaning in combination with Make Do or concealed cards, we can actually draw into it super fast. Now, looking over the board at what our opponent's playing, we see a Riolu. Riolu is probably going to evolve into Lucario, and we also see a Zapdos. Let's look at the Lucario card first, because most likely that's going to be the card that we're going to be getting attacked with. So, Lucario is a stage 1 Pokemon, 120 HP with that Roaring Resolve ability, which lets you get an energy from your deck and attach it to this Pokemon. And then you've got Aura Sphere Volley, which for 2 fighting energy to 60. For each energy you discard. So not a bad little attacker, you know, against a deck like this. Actually kind of annoying, because that could actually one-shot Vaporeon. And also, the one thing we can spin into, which I didn't actually mention, instead of promoting Vaporeon on the back of an Entangled dive from Golduck, is we can actually promote a Miltank, you know, with that ability, which means it cannot be hit by V Pokemon. There it is now, with Miraculous Body, can't be hit by V Pokemon. So you can just promote that with an air balloon, then retreat back into Vaporeon. However, looking at our opponent's board, you know, we see a Lucario, we see a Zapdos. We're probably not going to be able to make good use of Miltank, since we want to try and deny as many prizes as possible. There you see the Hisuian Heavy Ball coming in there, super clutch, letting us grab Swablu out of the prize card. Let's look at that Zapdos then, because Zapdos is interesting, right? It's a basic Pokemon, 110 HP. It does have a free retreat cost, mind. And it's got that Zapper Kick attack for 3 energy, 70 damage. And then your opponent is paralyzed, but you have to discard all the energy. Now, that sounds a bit rubbish at face value, but it's actually got the same ability as Baby Moltres, but for fighting energy. So when you bench it, you can attach to fighting energy. Now, that could actually be quite irritating, because we operate on a smooth timer, right? We want a Bubble Pod, Golduck, Bubble Pod, Golduck. And if we get paralyzed, that's actually going to throw a spanner in the works. So I've got to be careful of that. Speaking of throwing spanners in the works, that Tornadus is super irritating. Not only has it made us promote Cinccino to maybe get KO'd here, but it also got rid of our air balloon, and we only played 2, and trust me, air balloons are so important in this deck so we can have a pivot. But one thing we can actually do is, because we had to Bubble Pod Golduck and only attach one energy to it. We've actually been having to manually attach energy to this Golduck. So here, we're going to be a little bit sneaky, use Cinccino's attack, something that we don't often do, which is energy assist for 1 energy, 40 damage, and then you can attach a basic energy from the discard pile. So you could argue that our opponent there has done us a little bit of a favour, letting us get more energy onto our Golduck, a little bit of buff damage as well. And now our Golduck is ready with that Entangled dive attack. Let's see what our opponent does here. We actually haven't looked at the Zapdos V, which is something our opponent also has on the board. For 4 energy, has that Thunderous Kick, which is 170 damage, and then discard a special energy from your opponent's Pokemon, active Pokemon. Now, we don't play special energy, so we're fine with that. We also don't play too many V Pokemon, so hopefully our opponent won't be attacking, because Zapdos can reduce each energy needed to attack by 1 colorless for each. There you see the Entangled dive. Did you see that? We just got rid of that Zapdos. We got rid of the Golduck, and we just promote the Vaporeon. Now, Vaporeon is looking pretty scary. Nothing's going to deal with that. Nothing's going to deal with that Vaporeon in 1 hit. Not even that bent Zapdos. 170 damage, we'll just Cheryl it. You can see the Cheryls down there. Cheryl healing off all damage from our evolution Pokemon and discard the energy. Now, discarding the energy can be a little bit annoying, but we do play ways to get it back, such as Training Court and stuff like this. Now, our opponent's just trying to be an irritant, with bossing up our Radiant Greninja, but we had the return Escape Rope, and this is when we're starting to get into loop now. Can you see? So we just promote Vaporeon, we go for the Bubble Pod, no need to do anything else, get the energies out, whoopsie daisy, get the energies out, look, 1, 2, 3, and there we go, put them on the Golduck. And now our Golduck is getting ready for action. Whatever our opponent leaves in the active spot, we can just get rid of. And it puts our opponent in a real interesting position, right? It's like, well, do they actually want to try and KO this Vaporeon? You're going to have to imagine, it's our only 3 prizes in play. The rest are 1 prize. They're probably going to have to try and KO the Vaporeons to win the game. But if they attack into the Vaporeon, we can just discard their attacker straight away with Golduck. And here you can see our opponent is trying their hardest. They're attacking with Swablu right now, which actually did 80 damage. So that's not too bad. No real need to probably get crazy and try and get a Cheryl. So here we just play the Irida, super cool supporter, letting us get 1 water Pokemon, which is really nice, and an item card as well, super helpful, letting us pluck out that air balloon, so we can just start retreating with our Vaporeon. Because like I said, normally we would be using the Miltank to pivot around, but since our opponent is dead set on using non-V attackers, I should say, we're gonna have to use Vaporeon, which is perfectly fine. You know, 320 HP VMAX Pokemon, that isn't getting 1 shot. So we can just attach our air balloon, and we're about to send this Swablu straight to the Shadow Rail. Ain't no Daddy Lucario gonna come save you from where I'm sending you, baby. Let's go. Here comes Golduck, Entangled dive, and get out! Like, I'm not sure what the thumbnail's going to be for this video yet, but I can imagine. I'm thinking about having the Infinity Gauntlet on Golduck's hand. Golduck is literally just destroying these Pokemon. Literally just click the fingers, gone. And you can see our opponent is slowly starting to run out of Pokemon here. They have got that Zapdos with 2 energy on. Like I said, that caps out 170 damage. I'm not really scared of that, to be honest with you. Now, the reason why I didn't promote the Vaporeon then is because I was scared we might get KO'd. Oh, look! So our opponent has committed to the Zapdos. So that means they have exactly 1 turn to get that Zapdos out the active. Because if they don't, we are just gonna Golduck it. Now, here I'm trying to decide whether I want to Cheryl or not. In theory, our opponent can't take a KO. And if I was playing smarter, if I really wanted to min-max, I would probably not play the Cheryl here, because our opponent can't get to the max amount of damage. They can't KO us next turn. But I think I'm going to be a little bit of a baby and just Cheryl it all off. Stop any shenanigans, you know, stop any, I don't know, choice belts, grants, all that good stuff. There's a mad amount of stuff fighting can do now to get extra energy. So, yeah, not too bad. So we're just going to Bubble Pod. No need to do anything else. You can make the argument that, you know, make doing away the Jolteon, the Vaporeon is a correct play. But you guys can't see, I only have 12 cards left in deck. So I can't really afford to be make doing any more than I have to. Right, so we do have our Golduck locked and loaded. Let's see what our opponent does here. Will they go for the Thunderous Kick? There's the grants. I told you extra damage. Let's see how much damage they can do. There's the grant, an extra 20 damage. Get back an energy from the Training Court. That is kind of annoying, actually. In a sort of resource-intensive war, we don't really want to give our opponent Training Court, but it helps us out just as much as it helps them, so you know what I mean. 200 damage. So we are safe. We are about to eject this man's Zapdos straight into the Shadow Realm. 3 energy Zapdos, including a special energy. You can wave goodbye to that. You can see it later. You ain't getting it back. Bye-bye. How good's that? How good's that? Straight away. Look at that. Boom. And our opponent's Pokemon is starting to look a little bit scared now. Huh? Where's your Pokemon gone? Where's your Pokemon gone? And this works against any deck that cannot do 320 damage for the most part. Like, what's our opponent going to do? What's our opponent? Zizu? Draw. What does Zizu do? Draw 1 card. Draw a card until you have 1 more card than your opponent in their hand. Interesting. So, looks like our opponent is just going to try and keep hitting hard. Oh no, they don't. Okay, so now we get a free turn. Now, some things we do have to sort of keep in mind here is that since we haven't got Altaria developed, it might be hard for us to keep summoning these shells. We've got a couple options. We can either try and develop another Vaporeon, or we can try and develop Altaria. I think that, you know, both options are correct. We have 10 cards left in deck, no mind, so be careful. We can't really afford to tear through our deck too much. So, one interesting thing though, if we do decide to develop another Vaporeon, that does mean that our opponent's Zapdos can attack for 2 energy instead of 3. And it looks like I'm going to try and develop another Vaporeon. You can argue whether that's correct or not. I think in hindsight, you could probably say it's not correct, because now that our opponent's Zapdos can keep attacking. But hey, that's just what I decided to do. That's just what I decided to do. Okay, so let's keep it moving. So our opponent has 4 Pokemon in play. Obviously, we want to try and discard every single one of them, so they have no options. Our opponent only has 18 cards left in their deck as well, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as well. Maybe we can deck them out. They are tearing through their deck. You know, they are playing stuff like Grant and all that good stuff. I love the way my opponent's like, retreat! Have the Tornadus. I don't want it. It's done its job. Bye, Tornadus. See you later. Look how efficient this is. This is so efficient. I'm really impressed. So, now that we have 2 Vs in play, an unintended consequence of that is that the Zapdos can now attack. And since they attach to that bench Zapdos, that means they might try and paralyze lock us. Maybe they haven't realized that. I don't know. But we shall see. There's that Grant. Our opponent is determined. So hang on, they have a Rainbow Rare Grant and a Full Art Grant, and a normal Grant. They have 2 Grants in their deck, so our opponent can manipulate damage really well. We do have Cheryl in hand, so we can hit off that 200, that's fine. We just attach from hand, no need to do anything else. I would like to try and develop a Altaria at some point. Hopefully we do, because we're running low on Cheryls, and I don't know how many Pal Pads we've got left. We've got 1 in the discard pile. This list plays 3 Pal Pads, I think, 3 or 2. So we do have at least 1 Pal Pad. One problem with this deck is that your prize cards, you can't really access them outside of Hisuian Heavy Ball. So if we find some bad cards, there's not a lot we can do, in all honesty. So we're just going to bubble pods, get our Golduck back, and let's see what our opponent does. If they try and paralyze lock us here, that could be a little bit awkward, not going to lie. But it doesn't really do a great deal, because then they have to discard all their energy. So they're not going to do it again. I mean, that doesn't look like they've got any energy acceleration here outside of Gutsy Pickaxe, and they've already paid one of them. So yeah, it's going to pay retreat. Is that just got a 2 retreat cost? Oh, it's got a 1 retreat cost. Okay. And yeah, there's the Zapper kick. Super annoying. So we are paralyzed. And I think, oh, Pal Pad off the top. That means we can shuffle in some Cheryls. We are going to need them to close this game out after all. So I think playing that Pal Pad is fine. And then we've even got Cinccinos to try and draw into them. So let's get those Cheryls back, please. 1, 2, shut it. Come on, Cheryl. We're best friends. Come back. I want to see you some more. Right, let's see what we've got here then. So we've got Irida for Evolution Incense and Vaporeon. Now, we've got to be careful. We only have 9 cards left in deck here. So I don't think we really want to be taking too many cards out, he says. But we do have Ordinary Rod to put some Pokemon back in. So I think we're going to grab, what, Altaria here. And a Minccino. That makes sense. Minccino just to give us an extra card in our deck, and then we can use the Altaria now to start summoning we can start summoning the Cheryls. And here you can see we have the loop, we have everything developed now. We've got Altaria. Look, we can put it to the top of the deck. We're guaranteed to top deck that now. We've got energy in hand. We've got Training Court, so you can see the loop. Cheryl, you know, Altaria to grab Cheryl, Vaporeon VMAX, Bubble Pod, Golduck, Training Court to get the energy back off the back of a Cheryl. You can see what we're doing. Our opponent is getting stuck. They have 3 Pokemon left. Can we pull off 3 more Bubble Pods before our opponent, before we run out of Cheryls, to be perfectly honest with you? Because we've only got 2 Cheryls left. Our opponent's like, no, take the Oranguru, take the Oranguru. Now, realistically speaking, I don't think I need to play this Cheryl. So don't play it. Well done. That's it. Don't be a little baby. So there you go. Entangled dive. Get that Oranguru out of there. Get him out. And then look, our Altaria has a free retreat cost, so we could promote that. We could. Gives up a prize though. Oh, look, I'm a bit scared. I'm like, oh, is that Vaporeon? I'm gonna get KO. But here we go. I've been a big boy. I've decided there's no way our Vaporeon can get KO'd. And our opponent is looking a little bit scarce. 3-card hand, only 2 Pokemon in play. We will have Golduck locked and loaded to go next turn. And here we go. This is getting interesting now, isn't it? Don't even need to play Cheryl this turn. Looks like I'm going to them. A little bit of a big baby. That's fine. That's fine. So we just attach energy from hand. Don't even need to use Training Court. Probably could use Training Court though. Not gonna lie. 7 cards left in deck. 7 cards left in deck. We do have another Vaporeon VMAX though, in all fairness. So if this one does go down, we do have another one. Because our opponent's only taken 5 prizes, even if they code the Vaporeon, they still have 2 prizes to take. So here we go. Big, important times. What's our opponent going to do? Are they going to attack? Are they going to pass with the baby Zapdos in the active? I like the idea of this Zapdos deck, by the way. That's pretty cool. But let's see. What's our opponent going to do? They attach to baby Zapdos. And they pass! Oh! Here comes the Entangled dive. Let's do the Entangled dive dance, everybody. So we're tangled and we dive. And we're tangled and we dive. And we tangled and we dive. That's the dance right now. Has our opponent got a basic Pokemon? They need to put one down. They Training Court. They need to put down a basic Pokemon now. They Thunderous Kick. 170. That's fine. We show that off. We show that off. Get that 170, please. Get it off. Get it off. We've denied our opponent every prize card so far, apart from that first silly one they got at the start of the game. So there's the Golduck. Entangled dive. Come on. Entangled dive. Entangled dive. Are we going to do it? Entangled dive. They've got to put down the basic. We have 5 cards left in deck. We've got no Cheryls left. It all comes down to this. Has our opponent... They've got the research. Can they put down a basic Pokemon? Otherwise, we win. Yeah! We did it. Entangled dive. Entangled dive. Come on! Golduck is a superior water type. Right, you have to like the video now. Otherwise, your breath stinks.